good people out there in podcast world, cyber world. This is your host, as always, Marcus Hart. This is the Transform You Live show. We got a very great guest that I am just dying to be able to talk to, and I'm sure you guys are looking to hear from as well. We have Jennifer, who's a best-selling author of two novels, No Other Choice and Breaking the Ties That Bind. Ryan is her passion, and she does it well. Her books are available on Amazon. Okay, so you definitely want to check those out. They are in the religious and liturgical drama and plays edition, and we're gonna talk about them. So, how's it going, Jennifer?
Hi.
Okay. They heard me, just introduce you casually, and give a little introduction. But in your own words, can you, just share a little bit about yourself and just how you made this shift and transformation into being an author?
Sure. Um, I've always liked to write ever since I was a little child. I was always writing stories and notebooks and stuff. Then a couple of years ago, I started doing freelance writing and copywriting as a home business. And from there, I just I came up with a story in my head, and I decided to write it down, and it just on a life of its own, and became my novel. And once I finished that book, I realized that it was something I really enjoyed doing. And I quickly wrote my second novel, and I've actually finished two more since these two books.
Well, that's outstanding. I think one of the coolest things about your backstory is that you started doing it just freely, and there was no original intent. It seems like in the beginning, and then you found yourself now a published author. I think that's very inspiring. Uh, and as I'm looking at breaking the ties at Vine, it's inspired by a true story. Maybe tell us a little bit about that. And where the story comes from.
The story actually comes from me and my family's life. We were going to a very controlling and abusive church that bordered on being a cult. We
Mm,
spent 6 years there, and it talks about my time there, the abuse that we went through, just the outrageous things that they did to me and to my family. And I did change the names and identify information. I did do that, but the story itself is a true story.
okay. Yeah, and I think that book right now is very timely because when you think about uh, what's happening, in our culture, the rise of cultism is very prevalent, and
Mhm.
people either using it through the internet or they're doing it the old school way where they using religion as a way to bring people to into their world. And I think it's very timely, and thank you for your vulnerability on that. Um, and and then the previous title, tell us a little bit about No Other Choice. Does that kind of follow along the similar in a similar fashion, or is that a little bit
No,
different?
that's actually different. That is about two little girls who were abused by their father,
Mhm.
and their mother kind of turned a blind eye, and I had social services and the police failed them, and then the child took matters into her own hands, and then the story progresses from there. What happens with the child and her sister, but it goes on to have a heartwarming ending, though, even though it's a really tough topic of child abuse.
Yeah, I bet you. And when we look at both of the titles, it seems like although there are stories of like just uh, in ensuing some sort of abuse that you find a way to get out of it. And and I think as the readers are going to read through those words, they're going to find a lot of themselves in those words. So
Mm.
that's fantastic. Is that like your motivation, or and what you're looking and to get out of the books? Is that like readers do find themselves in the book and say, hey, I might have not specifically went through child abuse, but I can really identify with the main character on what they're feeling, and and maybe I can get out of my situation.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely want people to get that out of the books. If they could see themselves or somebody else in the story, and just see, because like I make sure my books have hope and encouragement at the end, so they know that even if they're in a tough situation, that there are ways out of it. And I would love for people to be able to see themselves in the book, and then see at the ending that there is hope.
Yeah, I think what you did is really, and maybe you can definitely tell me if I'm right or wrong. Is you found a very tough topic to write on, which it probably was very hard for you to uh, really go through that writing process, and it's probably very emotional for you, and you were able to lighten it up with that hope. Uh, uh, Tell us about that process. What how were you able to be able to unpack so much emotion, and not and be able to finish the book? Because I think once you start, and then you get into the meat of such a heavy topic, you might want to turn around.
Well, personally, I'm not ashamed to admit this. I was abused as a child, so a lot of my writing comes from that, and my ability to break free from that and forgive and move on. So yeah, so like when we're writing it and reliving things is really hard, but knowing that what the ending is ultimately going to be is makes it bearable, makes it not so bad to write.
That's outstanding. And and you released these within the same year. Uh, were you able to complete both in the same within the same year as well?
Mhm. Yes, I finished my first book. Took me a little bit longer to write. That took me a couple of months. My second book took me about 6 weeks to write, and I've been writing a book. About every 6 weeks, I've been able to write a book. I have the time during the day to be able to do that right now.
Mhm.
I'm hoping to make this into a full-time career. Hopefully, if the books
Yeah.
take off, it would be
Yeah.
nice.
I think it's pretty exciting to hear that you made it to bestseller, and I think that's also like very inspiring, and something to look up to. And what are many people saying? What kind of feedback are you getting on the books?
I've gotten very good feedback about it. I've got mostly positive reviews. No other choice. People always comment how it was a very tough read. That's a common denominator in the reviews. But for breaking the ties that bind, they just said that it's very fascinating, and it's a look into that kind of situation, and that it's very interesting, and you know something people find fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, it's truly fascinating. I mean, this is almost something you can see in a movie almost. Has that ever came across your mind?
I had in my writing group, somebody had mentioned that, and I thought, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd be real cool to see that on
Mm,
film, in film format. So we'll be looking out for that. Yeah, if it happens, come back and let us know.
yeah.
Uh, Yeah, so as of right now, it's still ranking pretty high in the religious and lyrical drama and plays genre. As we are speaking, it's under the top 50, so it's well right now number 18, which is just really heavily placed. What was it very hard to get any support with breaking the ties that bind? Because being that it happened with your family, uh, what type of what was it like with that having that conversation? Like, hey, I'm gonna put the story out.
Well, my immediate family who was
Yeah.
involved with it was they were very supportive. They
Okay.
they wanted the story to be told. Um, I still live near a lot of the people that are in the book. Names
Mhm.
are changed, and I've gotten some feedback, negative feedback from that, saying, I shouldn't have exposed dirty laundry. That was a word that was used. And I'm like, well, I don't know. But family wise, I've gotten very good feedback and a lot of support.
Now, as we get draw close to a end here in the conversation, and just to kind of take it back to just the whole uh, goal of your books is just inspiration, and giving people some wisdom to be able to either help themselves or help someone else. What kind of wisdom or what kind of advice can you give those who maybe looking to pour their heart and soul into a book, or if they're just a reader and a fan of yours, and and they want to know what to do next?
You mean like if they want to write a book?
Uh, well, rather than write a book, or just some advice, just to continue to move forward.
Um, well, I mean, if they want to be a writer, just go for it. The timing is right now for people to publish, and you don't have to go through a big name publisher anymore. And for readers who read these books, I just encourage them to continue reading and get what they can get out of the books. You know.
But that's definitely great advice for us, and we will definitely take that uh, advice, and be able to apply that instantly in our lives right away. So thank you so much for that. And especially that one about the you don't have to work with a big publisher, because that is definitely the myth that continues to echo every time I hear someone ask me about being a published author. So thank you. That's really important.
Mm.
So what can we do for you to support you? Yeah, before we part ways here, and maybe tell us how we can get in touch with you on through social media.
Okay, well, I'm on Facebook and on Instagram. You can contact me through my website, jennifercorgan.net. And you can find my email and my phone number and all the information on my website.
Excellent. And as another reminder to all of you, both of these books are on Amazon. You can get them in Kindle format and paperback format. I always suggest the paper book, because there's nothing like having that hard copy in front of you, and being able to, um, commemorize this moment in time, and best support Jennifer in that way. Uh, and you heard the website, you heard the social media plugs. We will have those links in the episode description for those who want to know. And if by chance you got the opportunity, share this wonderful episode recording with someone you know, as well as the links that is provided, and get those books. And don't be stingy with those as well. Share that with someone as well too. Thank you, Jennifer, for joining me today. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And to those who are listening or watching, many blessings, peace, and lots of love. Until next time.